What's going on? It's Alan Angels, aka 5 of the Dark Order, and you're watching Valley Mark 20.
Hey guys, what's up? Jose Acosta here. Welcome back to my channel. And before I go along with what I'm doing today, I really want to thank Alan 5 Angels for making that intro for me. And of course, Alan 5 Angels is well known for being 5 on Dark Order, on AEW. He is also known for being on Sammy Guevara's vlogs and on BTE. If you haven't seen him before, check him out. He is a great wrestler. And I really see him going far with AEW. Other than that, today I am not doing an unboxing, I am not doing a rating or review. Today I am doing my very first professional wrestling interview. And today I am doing it with a SoCal wrestler that goes by the name of Dirty Ron McDonald. And today we're just going to be talking about how he's having his new movie, A Pro Wrasslin Legend of Dirty Ron. We're going to be talking about his one-time matchup in WWE against Braun Strowman, as well as the company that he owns, Fist Combat. It's going to be a fun interview between us, and I really hope you guys like it. Other than that, let's get started with this interview.
Hey, bro.
Like a diamond.
Can you hear me?
What's up? Do I have this the correct way? Do I have this the right way?
I believe so, man. Like, I'm trying to get that settled out too.
You know, it's a daily struggle with me. I've been doing a lot of interviews for this movie, and you know, hold on, the light's shining too bright. One sec.
Of course, man. Of course.
You know, us gingers, we got to get the light the correct way for us because we're already pretty translucent as it is.
Yeah, man. I feel you on that one, man. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for joining me today, man, and also thank you for being my first guest.
Jose, man, I appreciate it. Should I call you Jose, or do you got some special name you want me to call you? That's cool.
Well, there's some people that call me Jose. A lot of people down in Southern California, where I live, whenever I go to events, sometimes they call me Baby Cobb.
Baby Cobb. All right. I'm writing that note right now. You know, here's my thing, Baby Cobb, since that's your name, I'm going to call you forever now, is that, you know, I started wrestling 21 years ago, and some people in wrestling, I know them by their wrestler name, and, like, I refuse to learn their real name, you know?
Okay.
Like, all right, well, you introduce yourself as Super Destroyer 27. Well, that's your name. I don't want to call you George or whatever your real name is. You know?
I can see that.
But yeah, man, you know, I've been doing every podcast, every interview that I can, you know, because every donation counts. Really, this movie that we're putting out, it's called A Pro Wrasslin Movie, The Legend of Dirty Ron. It's a stoner comedy. Rob Van Dam starring in it. Effie starring in it. I got like 20 current and former pro wrestlers, all the way from RVD, Katie Forbes, Victoria, Mecca Wolf, Matt Sydal, all the way down to people that are on AEW Dark right now, like Miranda Alizé and wrestlers like that. And then, you know, I got the next generation too of some of Southern California's up and coming superstars. Slice Boogie's in the movie. He just debuted for NWA Power. I got the Ringworms. Blake Troop does commentary and is an MMA fighter. So we got a lot of different cats in this movie.
You know, what was it like getting to work in this movie, for one thing?
It was quite a new experience, to tell you, to be honest with you, Baby Cobb. Check this out, is that I started wrestling 21 years ago as an independent wrestler in the St. Louis market. So I've always like tried out different new, fun, and entertaining ventures, and this movie was just the progression of myself as a promoter and entertainer, as well as a character and a wrestler, because I'm 37 years old now. So even though nobody knows who the hell I am as a wrestler, nor should they, I wanted to keep the train going. I wanted to keep involved in the wrestling business somehow. And I get inspired by different things. I watched a lot. I'm sure you've seen some like El Santo and Blue Demon movies.
Yes.
Seen any of those? And, you know, watching those for me, it was like, hey, why aren't wrestlers making shitty movies now? You know, like, no offense to those movies, but they weren't the Justice League and all that shit, you know, but why aren't there more movies involving wrestlers, you know?
No, I feel you. And the fact that you said it was like a stoner comedy and wrestling, it makes it a really, I think it's a good thing. Because for one thing, I love stoner comedies as well. And to mix that with professional wrestling is something that's really up my alley. And probably up a bunch of people's alleys.
Well, here's the thing about wrestling fans is wrestling fans all fit into some sort of a Venn diagram. There are wrestling fans that like deathmatch wrestling. There are wrestling fans that only like PWG style wrestling. There's wrestling fans that like New Japan. There's wrestling fans like NXT. There's wrestling fans like Raw, SmackDown, all NWA brand, all these different brands. But the beauty of it is there's a big Venn diagram where we all cross over, you know. And I think a huge portion of wrestling fans consume cannabis. I know a lot of wrestlers consume cannabis as an alternative to pain medication. So making a stoner comedy just feels like there's a big hole that was missing inside the wrestling bubble that I wanted to fill.
Yeah, and then with also the fact that you have someone that, like with RVD, someone that is pro cannabis at this point. And it's like where he's actually said that he smokes 100% of the time before a fight. What was it like getting to work with someone like him?
Well, you know, it's the same with. I'm gonna answer that question, but there's a lot of wrestlers now from back in that day who are coming out as major cannabis users. One of those is the Godfather. The Godfather is super pro cannabis, pro medical marijuana, and you know he's very open to talk about it now that he was smoking a lot of weed back in the day, and it's the truth. You know, you see a lot of wrestlers that get hurt because that's one of the things that people don't realize is not just are we throwing our bodies around the ring. It's that what do you do when you go to sleep that night? You know, when you got the high and the adrenaline from wrestling in a big ass show with thousands of people sometimes, how do you go to sleep after that? And then how much do you sleep? And and what kind of traveling arrangements do you have for the next town? You know, like how are you gonna sleep on a plane where you're trying to sleep like this and then you wake up with a crinked neck? You know, like pain pills, sleeping pills, muscle relaxers, all that sort of thing. You know, cannabis is a great alternative to that. So to answer your question, smoking weed with Rob Van Dam was dope.
I bet it was, man.
No, but, that's what was really important to me too, Baby Cobb, is that fucking finding out all of these wrestlers and everybody that's involved in the film made a name for themselves outside of the major whatever in their industry. Rob Van Dam made himself a name for himself outside of WWE. Victoria made a name for herself outside of WWE as a bodybuilding instructor, I believe, some fitness model, something like that before WWE. Effie made a name for himself in no major promotion at all across the country. And, you know, he's the major antagonist in this film. So it was very important to me to get people that made a name for themselves outside of any sort of corporate structure, you know, because, hey, man, with a little bit of planning, self-determination, and reassessing where your issues are as you grow, then, you know, you can really accomplish anything, honestly.
I can see that, man. I can really see that. Also, I know that you mentioned deathmatch wrestling earlier. When did you start doing deathmatch wrestling?
Well, I mean, I don't consider anything I've ever done deathmatch wrestling. I think deathmatch wrestling has taken on a new name, a new meaning in this day and age, which is cool. You know, it is what it is. But, you know, I guess what I would do is more like a hardcore. You know, I hate glass. You know, that like, I'll do anything. Like, but that glass shit, man, like, but what sucks about that is that fucking you'll find like a piece of glass, poking out of your body like 2 months later.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, those guys are fucking. I wouldn't want to sully the name of deathmatch wrestling by saying that I compete in it, but I mean, when I started backyard wrestling like 23 years ago, that was the rage, you know, light tubes, you know, thumbtacks, fucking barbed wire, you know, throwing each other through tables or nowadays doors and stuff like that. By the way, I'm rolling up a big fat blunt. Is that okay for me to?
Nah, it's all good, man.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you know, deathmatch wrestling now is a totally new thing. You know, like it's not what it was back in the day, and now I feel like with the void in the independent wrestling scene, because all these companies ripping up all the talent, it's like, all right, well, who's left? Deathmatch wrestling left. They're not going anywhere.
Oh man. And you know, I've been to a bunch of those events. I've been to a bunch of deathmatch wrestling events, and they have been nothing but spectacular. And you know, I really hate how people hate on deathmatch wrestling in a sense.
Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. Like, and people hate on what I do. People are, excuse me, hating on the movie. And here's the thing: you pick what you like. I can't stand people that always like to talk about what they don't like. Well, then don't fucking watch it. You know. Now, as a shitty comedian, I make fun of things a lot. You know, I love to make fun of things. So, you know, but when people outwardly like talk shit on something, especially something that they don't even know about, like, man, fuck that shit. You know, spend your time doing something else. You know, like there's only so much time in this life, so much time in the day for you to accomplish anything, and for somebody to put all their energy into hating something, like, dude, fuck that shit. So if you don't like deathmatch wrestling, don't watch it. If you don't like WWE, don't watch it. If you don't like AEW, don't watch it. But this is what's beautiful about wrestling is you can find anything that you like. And the way that we put on shows here with Fist Combat, this promotion I run out of San Diego, is that we put on shows for people that used to like wrestling when. So many times when I bring up a conversation with somebody, they're like, oh, I used to like wrestling when Stone Cold was, when Triple H, when Ric Flair. And I'm like, well, why don't we make now wrestling like when? You know, like when it used to be whatever. So the way that I produce wrestling, the way that I produce this movie, the way that I try to entertain people is, hey, I want the common person to be able to enjoy something that I'm doing. You know, we put out Get Fisted TV every Wednesday, has a little comedy, has a little action, has a little bit of all the different styles, you know, so I like to, you know, give people a little bit of variety. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect,
Okay,
man.
perfect.
And also, you actually mentioned the fact that you own Fist Combat. What was it like getting to run it at first, in the beginning?
It's tough. It's tough. Wrestling, this is one of the other reasons that the way that I do Fist and the way that I'm doing this movie and my whole general message is that wrestling is the coolest form of live entertainment that ever existed. We're just not just comedy. We're comedy, action, drama, improv, stunts, all the shit in one take with an audience 360 degrees around us while we're in our fancy underwear, throwing around other sweaty humans that weigh 150 to 300 pounds. You know, like, I want to show the world what type of entertainment value that pro wrestling and pro wrestlers have, because so many people have a negative connotation of wrestling in their mind. Oh, that's some redneck, fucking white trash, whatever color you are, trash. That's a trashy, non-classy form of entertainment. It's like, all right, well, don't like it then. I don't care. But I want to show people the art of wrestling, the art of manipulating emotions, the art of storytelling, the art of throwing bodies around side to side, dropping elbows from the top. You know, like, I want to show the beauty in that. And it's not just a bunch of fucking rednecks going around pissing in a bucket and spitting chaw at each other, you know?
No, yeah, I can see that for sure, man. Like, you know, like what the whole point about wrestling is for something that you love, something
Right.
that, you know, that people like, they can judge all the time, but the fact that you're doing what you love to do is just fine with you.
I mean,
Yes.
without a doubt, you know, here's another thing too. BC, can I call you BC for short?
Sure.
All right. Is that how old are you? If you don't mind me asking.
I am 23.
23. I'm 37. So here's what unites us as wrestling fans is that as wrestling fans, I'm sure you were made fun of. You were told, what is that fake shit? Like what, like, you know what I'm saying? So like, if you like wrestling, I like you. Man, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're shitty to your wife and kids like Ric Flair, or, you know, like, you become a little racist as the president of the United States. I don't care if you like wrestling. I'm just kidding. If you like wrestling, I like you. Know that straight up though. You know, like I don't know if I was popular, a jock, a dork, whatever you want to. I don't know what label I had growing up, but wrestling fan has always been who I am. My mom was a pro wrestler. My mom wrestled like less than 100 matches in the late 70s in the St. Louis area. You know, like I love wrestling. Wrestling is my life.
Yeah, and you mentioned and earlier you did mention that you came from St. Louis to California.
Yeah.
How was it like transitioning from going over there to someplace like California?
A lot better looking women out here. No, I'm married. I'm married. Those are ECW ropes, by the way. ECW 1995. That's my wedding band. Blue, yellow, red. That's the ECW's ring ropes from 1995.
That's pretty fast, man.
The best year of any wrestling promotion ever. ECW 1995. That's my wedding band with my wife and I. I forgot the question now because I'm talking about why is California better? They have shittier pizza but better burritos. They have better looking women. The weather's a whole lot nicer. I can smoke weed and not get in trouble for it. I don't know. Keep going. I can keep going.
And if you don't mind me talking about it, what made you come up with the Dirty Ron, like this whole thing?
So I've been a wrestler for, like I said, like 20 years off and on. I played many different characters. I wrestled Braun Strowman on Monday Night Raw like 4 years ago.
And that's something I do want to talk about a little bit later on as well.
Hell yeah, I love talking about myself. So I played many different characters, and Fist Combat is a promotion that I always wanted to be like in the bars, in the pool hall. So it's finally when we moved to San Diego, I was able to find pool halls and strip clubs and all those other underbelly type of establishments to run Fist Combat, because I think that the dark shadow that's been cast on that sort of atmosphere needs to have some light on it. You know, like, we're not all bad people. Like, yeah, you know, like, we're running in a pool hall where somebody might got stabbed a couple weeks ago, but that's not us, you know, like, but to answer your question, Dirty Ron, I was like, all right, well, what kind of character could I play that would fit in like a 21 and up environment that gets drunk and likes to do drugs and have sex and all that shit? Basically who I am as a person, for real. But I was like, all right, well, I look in the mirror and I'm looking and I'm like, well, I kind of look like a fucking dipshit Ronald McDonald. So I was like, well, you know what? Like, what if I was like the burger mascot went wrong? So the story just kept growing from there. And, you know, people dug it. People were like, I dig this shit. Dirty Ron was supposed to last for 6 months and be dead. But, you know, people dug it, so I kept it going.
And you know what's funny is I actually work for McDonald's.
Oh, no
so
shit.
Like, oh yeah, and when
well, don't tell on me.
Huh?
Don't tell on me.
No, you're good. You're good. So like when I was doing this interview, I just realized like, oh crap, like I'm basically interviewing my boss in a sense.
No, see, so like that's the story of Dirty Ron. Dirty Ron is the son of the fast food mogul. Like, I'm the son. My dad is the boss, right? And
yeah.
I'm doing drugs and having sex and getting fucked up. So my boss is like, I want to fire this kid. But I can't because his dad is the owner. So eventually I fuck up too much. And my dad's like, cut him off. Get him out of here. You know? And then so my boss fires me. I beat the shit out of him. And then while I'm doing that, this guy that lives in a dumpster sees me do it. His character is played by Rob Van Dam, and his character is a former world champion wrestler. And he's like, hey, kid, I could teach you how to be a wrestler. I could teach you how to wrestle. And I'm like, I don't know about this, you old hobo. I just got cut off. My life's fucked up. And now you want me to fake fight in my fancy underwear? Like, fuck that shit. You know? So eventually he convinces me, and then I get a shot at the world champion by happenstance, because the world champ, like Rocky, the world champ is like, yo, I fucking beat up everybody. I need to fight somebody. And somebody was like, yo, I heard the Burger Kid's son is fucking wrestling. So like, oh, let's put him in the ring. So that's the base of the story.
And also like how in the movie, not only do you incorporate like the wrestling part, but also like the whole fast food thing as well. When you have like the Burger King guy, you got Jack in the Box smoking crack, you got fucking the Hamburglar, you got Katie Forbes as fucking Wendy's. And
you know, the movie's not done, so we're still, you know, we're raising the rest of the funds to do it. Whether that's through Indiegogo or through a couple other companies that are interested in sponsoring us, I know the film's going to get done. But I think that was one of the coolest parts, because with Rob came Katie Forbes. So my director, the director and co-writer, Pablo Romero Estevez, really has almost just as much of a part in this thing as I do. You know, we're both pretty much in this whole thing 50-50 for real. Because Pablo brought Katie to the table. Pablo brought other film people to this project that, you know, have an IMDb page longer than Sonny's arrest record. You know, so the teammates that we have here on this thing and the people that got involved in this thing are just like, it's amazing, because all these people believe in this project the same way that I did when I wrote the basis of the script a couple years ago. And then everybody that's been added to this thing since then is believing in this thing. So, you know, seeing everybody that's jumped on this thing and to have the wild ride has just been amazing. And I can't wait to keep making movies for the rest of my life revolving around pro wrestling.
And that's really cool to hear, man. And you, like earlier, I did mention the fact that you did get to compete in WWE one time was it the Oracle Arena?
What's that?
Was it at the Oracle Arena?
It was at the Oracle Arena.
There we go.
Hell yeah.
And you guys were called the Splash Brothers.
The second intergender racial brother tag team. Interracial brother tag team in the history of wrestling. The second after the Dudley Boys, as far as I know. Dudley Boys had black and white brother. The Splash Brothers had a black and white brother.
There we go. What was it like being able to be in a big arena just like that in front of thousands and thousands of people, going against maybe one of the biggest guys in WWE today, Braun Strowman?
Outside of Big Show and Andre the Giant, I believe he is the tallest wrestler to ever wrestle for the WWE. Great Khali might be in that conversation. Yeah. Other than that, man, like I'm 5'9" on a good day, right? So being in there with those giants was fucking such a wild experience. So like we showed up that day. So like whenever WWE comes to town, they get local wrestlers to be like extras. So you might be an ambulance driver or an EMT or security or something, usually. But right around this time, 4.5 years ago, they started booking local wrestlers to wrestle Braun Strowman and Nia Jax and a couple other wrestlers. So I was like, oh shit, wouldn't that be cool if I got to wrestle Braun Strowman, you know? And I'm watching, you know, at the time I was still watching Raw like almost every week. And I'm like, oh shit, look at this little James Ellsworth. And this was 4 weeks before. This was right after I found out they were going to use me as an extra. And 4 weeks before I did it, and I saw James Ellsworth on TV, and I was like, oh shit, like, what if I got to do that? That'd be so dope. Like, wouldn't that be fucking awesome? So, but when we show up to Raw, they go, all right, when you show up, get in your gear, go stand by the ring, because you might get in the ring and roll around with a few guys. You never know. You might get a little tryout or something so they can see what you can do. So I go and I get my gear, and I'm standing by the ring, and, you know, we're there for like 30 minutes, you know, watch some of the guys go over what's going on Raw later that night. And Arn Anderson walks over to a group of us, and he goes, all right, you two, you're with Primo and Epico, and you two, you're with Braun Strowman. Now, remind you, I think I'm doing a tryout at this point. I have no idea about nothing. So they're like, all right, you two, you're in with Braun Strowman. And I'm like, this seems weird. We're two 5'9" guys in good shape, but we're in there with a 12-foot tall giant. So what am I going to be? I can't body slam this guy. Like, I don't care. What the fuck? So then they're like, all right, they go over this match with us. And they're like, all right, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do that. Blah, 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 blah. They're like, all right. So here we are. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm just kicking this guy. Like, let me show you I can work. You know, like I can chain wrestle, I can body slam, I can do all this shit, man. Like, I've been doing this for a long time, you know, like I want to show what I can do, god damn it. Like, you know, I'm kind of getting mad. So they go, all right, after the thing, they send us show us a script. At the top of the script, it says segment 10, Monday Night Raw. And I'm like, wait a second. This is on Raw? Like, what the fuck? This is on Raw? Like, oh my God. And then I'm reading the script more, and it's got a talking part. I was like, one of us gets to talk. Like, one of us gets to talk on Monday Night Raw? Like, this is fucking nuts. I'm going to kill this guy. I will fight him to the death. I'm gonna make sure I get that talking role. I want to be on Raw. I want to be the one talking. I'll fight him. I don't care what I got to do. And they were like, which one of you guys wants to do the talking? And Marcus Lewis, thank you, Marcus, for this. I owe you a fruit basket for this. He goes, you can do that one. And I was like, fuck yes. So to answer your question, when we're in Gorilla, right before we go out, you know, I'm nervous as shit because I'm about to go out in front of 18,000 people, and there were like 6 million people watching live. And I was like, this is crazy. Vince McMahon is fucking 3 feet from me right now. Fucking Triple H is here. Stephanie's here. All these people are here. Like, this is fucking insane. I'm so nervous. And then, baby kept BC, I walked through that curtain, and all that nervous energy just turned into power and strength and fucking, and motivation. And I was like, I was meant to be here. I was meant to do this shit. And then the lights are down, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, lights come up. Here comes Braun Strowman down the aisle. Byron Saxton standing in the middle of the ring, and he starts doing a promo. And I go, fuck, what was I supposed to say? You know, I forgot. So I was like, shit. And they gave me a script word for word. And then all of a sudden I was like, boom, remember it, right? So they gave me a script word for word, and I said that thing word for word. But BC, here's what they told me before the promo. They go, make sure one thing doesn't happen. Vince McMahon hates it when any wrestler looks right into the camera. So I go out there for my promo, BC, and guess what I did?
Look straight into the camera.
I looked right into the camera. And I go, ever since we were kids, growing up right here in Oaktown, fucking crowd pops, right? Hey, big shout out APW's Marcus Mack for telling me to shout out Oaktown, not Oakland, you know, not the Bay. Said, shout out Oaktown, and fucking pop for you. So I did. Shout out Marcus Mack. I fucking Oaktown crowd popped, right? And I was like, oh shit, here we go. I started looking straight into the camera, doing them crazy eyes and shit. This is all right around the time all those crazy clowns were like popping up in the forest and stuff. So all these memes start going out, and like it was fucking, like not all these memes, a few memes. I got invited to a few podcasts. It was cool as shit, you know. But the coolest part about it was when we were done, you know, I walked through the curtain. I put my head down. Thank you. I go do the fucking, go grab a bottle of water. I go back towards where the TV, where all the other extras are watching. And I'm looking down the hall. I'm walking down the hall. And who was there? Down the hall at the other end of the hall, walking towards me, looking right at me. I thought by accident. Who was looking at me? You know who it was? Vince fucking McMahon.
Oh.
Is 40 feet down this hallway, and I swear he's looking in my direction. I don't know if he's looking at me. He's looking in my direction. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm walking this way. He's walking this way. I'm going to stop because I want to say something to Vince McMahon, right?
Yeah. So
I stop and I put my head down and I'm like, all right, they told us not to ask for pictures with anybody. Don't bother anybody. Oh my God, I just was on Raw. This was crazy. This is craziest night of my life. Holy shit. What am I going to say to Vince when he's coming over here? I don't know what I'm going to say, right? And all this happens really quickly. So I look up, and then there's Vince still walking right towards me, and he's looking dead into my eyes. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I screwed up. Vince McMahon is coming to yell at me. And I was like, oh, no, fuck. So I was like, what am I going to do? I can't go. I can't go backwards. Can't go forward. There's no door. What am I going to do to get out of here? Oh, my God. And then I look up, BC, and there's this 12-foot man, right, by the name of Vince McMahon. I swear to God, looking down from me from 37 feet tall, because that's how tall he was, I swear. 52 feet tall. 52 feet tall. Vince McMahon is looking down on me. He's just looking at me, right? He's looking at me just like this. And I'm looking up at him, right? And I'm like, he's looking down at me like, and I'm looking up at him like, and then he's looking down at me like, and I'm looking up at him like, and then right, and we're connecting eyes. And then he goes, you did a great job tonight, son. You did a great job. So I was like, holy shit, this is the greatest compliment I could ever get. Thank you so much. You know, I didn't even know what to say. And I walked to the TV screen. I swear to God, no more than a minute later, there's Stephanie McMahon and taps me on the shoulder and says the same thing to me, told me what a great job I did. So there couldn't be a better compliment by two people I respect more in the wrestling business than Vince and Stephanie McMahon. I mean, you know, those are two of my four on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. It's Steph, Vince, Triple H, Paul Heyman, and I don't think it goes beyond that.
Man, that's a really awesome story to hear, man. And especially with everything that, you know, with a big corporation like that. And like you said, like they never talk to like talent, like enhancement talents, indie wrestlers and all that. But just the fact that here that you were one of the ones that they got to like compliment you, tell you what a great job you did was really awesome.
You know, and to tell you the truth, I'm gonna be totally honest here, and this is the first time I've ever told the story this way. Is that like I don't necessarily think they were coming to tell me, Michael Gordon, Dirty Ron McDonald, whatever you call it. I don't think they were coming to tell me that I did a good job in my job. I think they were just more showing appreciation, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I think they were more showing appreciation for the jobber local guys, you know, for like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was more, I don't think it was like they came to find me, you know, like, I think they just happened to pass me, walk by me and go out of their way to say, thank you. You know, that the small dollar, the great payday that I don't get me wrong, I got a great payday for that. but the small amount of money that they gave me had nothing, you know, to them, that small amount of money. What meant more to them was coming over and saying thank you to me. And that meant a lot to me because I try to go out of my way to show my appreciation to everybody that works with me, for me, whatever. And I think that's very important. So to see that was important to them means a lot to me. And I will never let anybody ever talk bad about Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, or WWE as the way they run a company. Sorry, not going to do it.
That's a great way of thinking. That's a great way of putting it. And I really like that. And respect it.
Sure. They treated us well. They paid us well. You know, they fed us well. They were very respectful. You know, and I don't know if everybody has the same story about that, but that's my story. It was great,
man. And then, like I said, I always respect it. And also, you don't only run a promotion, but you also have your own school, correct?
Yeah, myself and Ryan Kidd, we run a small school that basically we say is like the community college of professional wrestling schools. Is that we take fans of professional wrestling, turn them into athletes, and then we turn athletes into professional wrestlers. We just graduated our first 6-month class. We started with 9 students. 6 of them graduated. All 6 have wrestled in matches under masks as, you know, enhancement talent or whatever you call it. And that's very important to us, is that we aren't necessarily trying to make them all of the next WWE superstars. We want to teach people the fundamentals of wrestling, and we want to show people that even though you aren't willing to move to Florida and uproot your entire life to become the next John Cena, that you can still be involved in wrestling, that you can be a referee, you can be a manager, you can be on the production side of things. And the classes and courses that we teach are very congruent with our mentality. And the operation that we run down here in Ocean Beach, San Diego, has just taken on 5 new students as well. So, teaching the next generation and giving them many different styles was something I was fearful of, to be honest with you, is that even though I've wrestled on and off for 20 years and I've run probably over 600 or 700 live shows, is that what knowledge do I have as a wrestler? Where did I make it? I didn't make it anywhere. I wrestled on Raw one time. I did 5 sidekicks. Like, that's it. That's all I've ever done. Like, what did I ever do? But as I found in this first 6 months, it's very rewarding that we do have a lot to offer. And am I going to give you all the knowledge to get you to the WWE? No. But it takes a village to raise a child. So we have Ryan Kidd here. We have guest trainers come in. And as COVID restrictions are starting to ease up, we're going to have a lot more guest trainers down here. So, it's a fun way to learn wrestling that doesn't over pressure you, doesn't break the bank, and it gets you to jump from, to understand the business from a different side.
And that's really awesome to hear. And with Ryan Kidd, I've seen him perform before, and he's an amazing talent. I like the way he wrestles, especially with the fact that I went to Expo Lucha last year and saw the both of you guys.
Actually, that's where Pablo and I started talking about the movie, Pro Wrasslin Movie, The Legend of Dirty Ron, was at the Lucha Expo. I found him there, and I was like, hey, I got this idea. But to talk about Ryan Kidd, the most underrated talent in Southern California, this guy has trained for months in Japan, trained for months in Mexico, trained for months in Germany, trained months all over Europe. This guy's a well-trained and well-versed, complete athlete. He's 25 years old and been wrestling already for over 10 years. That he's been all over Southern California, but he's really been all over the world. And I think that's so important to find in a wrestler, is that it's not just that he can wrestle many styles. He can wrestle every type of a wrestler, whether it's a 400-pound fist combat champion, Juicy Finau, or new up-and-comer in Southern California, Jack Cartwheel. Ryan Kidd can wrestle and he can train all of them. I surround myself with people that I admire and people that inspire me. And Ryan Kidd is, without a doubt, somebody that inspires me and motivates me to do better, to do more, to push myself to my limits and then keep pushing. Hey, Victor, fuck Venom. I'm going to beat Venom's ass at Fuck Mania next Saturday. Fuck Venom. I'm coming back for my Triple X Championship. By the way, I'm going to go ahead and announce this right now. Fresh, brand new content to you, BC. We're going to be streaming Fuck Mania for free on our Facebook page at Fist Combat TV. Fist Combat TV, at Fist Combat TV. You can stream Fuck Mania for free. Go ahead and because we're going to be putting out an app here on May 1st. Go and get on our Facebook page at Fist Combat TV. We have a live stream for free this Saturday, next Saturday, April the 3rd, Fuck Mania, on our Facebook page for free to the people. I'm going to be fucking Venom up and taking my title back.
And I'm actually excited to see that one.
What up, Nico? What up, Nico? Nico's in this chat. What's up, Nico? Sad boy in the house.
Yeah, and also, wait, damn it. Sorry. Also, damn, I forgot what I was going to say. My bad.
Hey, man, here. Virtually hit this. Virtually hit that. Oh, shit. Wait, can we do that? All right, there it is. Hit that shit. Bam. We virtually planted blunts around this motherfucker.
I'll say that's the first time I've done that in a while. Not just kidding.
Hey, have you ever virtually gotten high on a fucking interview? What's up, dude?
Nah, man. Just the fact that I used to do all that, man. I used to smoke up a lot.
Oh, hey, man. Some people grow out of it. Honestly, I use it for my pain medication. It works well for me. It works well for anxiety too,
Exactly. And also, I wanted to ask, out of all the matches that you had throughout your career, what has been some of your favorites?
Um, anytime that I get to wrestle, not in the last match. I hate wrestling last. I hate it, especially on my own show. But to not be an asshole and actually answer your question, um, I've had feuds, right? So like the beauty of booking my own promotion is that I got to find different ways to, like, because I'm going to be on every show, right? So I got to find different ways to keep it fresh, because like, what am I going to do? Just wrestle everybody one time, like I got to be there for a long time. So I've had feuds. So I had a feud in NorCal with a guy named the Jackpot Scotty Ringer, and it lasted 2 years. We did every type of match. And then down here in Southern California, I had a feud with Officer Randy Order, and we literally did every type of match, from cage match to no ring match to barbed wire match to tag team barbed wire match, 10,000 thumbtacks, career versus title. We've done it all. We've fucking done everything. And then finally at Fist Mania last year, Fist Mania 4, we did career versus career. And Randy Orton moved out of town, to be honest. And but other than that, like I've had matches with Nick Gage. I had Mance Warner and I did a singles match. Dude, I can't tell you one match that I didn't like. Like I like anytime. I don't care. I don't care if there's 5 or 500,000 people watching. I don't know how many people are going to watch this, and I don't give a shit. Like, yeah, it was cool that 6 million people watched Raw live when I was on it, and 1 million plus people have watched the video on YouTube since. That's cool. But, like, I'm going to put on the same show and entertain people the same way and bring it to the table the same way, no matter how many people are watching. So anytime I get the opportunity to bring a smile to somebody's face and act like a fucking idiot and not clock into some job that sucks my soul is a fucking day that I can smile. So, what are my favorite matches? Like, man, it's so cliche, but like, dude, every match. That battle royal I got to do at Expo Lucha on the same show where Ryan Kidd took a top rope leg drop from fucking Psychosis. Like, amazing. Like, a movie that I wrote got Rob Van Dam to jump in a dumpster for a scene that I wrote. Like, like fucking, dude, I've been to 5 WrestleManias and 4 of them as a guest of WWE wrestlers. Like, dude, every day that I'm involved and breathe air and get to open my eyes and be involved inside of wrestling, whether it's putting on a show or wearing a shirt or running the goddamn fuck house. We're here at the fuck house. There's my ring right there, man. Like, dog, I live this shit. I love this shit. This is the headband I wore on Monday Night Raw. Like, I love this shit. I live this shit every day. So to get to be involved in wrestling, to get to share that with anybody, to get here and to talk to you for an hour, like, that shit's dope. I'll do it. I'm about to do a beach cleanup right now in Ocean Beach with all my wrestlers and a bunch of people from the neighborhood. You know why? Because I didn't have a wrestling show today, and I just want to go out there and make a difference and make somebody smile, goddammit. So whether it's my movie, whether it's putting on shows, whether it's taking wrestling fans and letting them into the business a little bit, dude, we're all in this shit together. We're not marks. We're all fans. We love wrestling, and that's why we're here, So I'm going to keep doing this shit, whether I get enough money from the Indiegogo to finish the film or whether enough people pay to buy tickets to my next Fist Combat show so I have enough to pay the wrestlers. I don't care. I'll figure something else out. We'll make it work. As long as I'm breathing, as long as my eyes are open every day and the sun comes up, Mikey Gordon, Dirty Ron is going to be doing something involved with pro wrestling. And I'm going to be bringing everybody along with me for the show, for the ride, for life.
And that is one way of putting it, man. And that is really awesome. And my final question to you is, what more can we expect from this movie? Because it's already got me hyped up, and I kind of got to know a little more.
Yeah, you want some insider info? We've got 3 more movies playing behind it. We're ready to go. When we're done with this, what we're doing right now is I'm reigniting my relationships with wrestling promotions all around the country. So we're taking our relationships and we're going to take this film. We're not going to stream it. You can't see it on any streaming service. You can't see it on YouTube. Can't see it on Netflix. Can't see it on Hulu. Myself, some of the wrestlers, some of the comedians in the film, we're going to take this film on the road. We're taking it. We're going to see it. You're going to see it in town to town to town. And then when we're out there making enough money to cover our ass from the first one, putting it right back into the second one. We're going to keep putting movies out. I'd love to put out 2 to 3 films every year like Blue Demon and Santo did there in the 70s. You know, I want to show people how awesome wrestling is outside of the squared circle. I want to show people how entertaining wrestlers can be outside of the squared circle. I want to show people what the fuck Stone Cold Steve Austin does on a Wednesday. You know, like I want origin stories. I want people to see wrestlers in different lights. I want wrestlers to not only start taking over politics, I want them to start in the movie world. I want them to start taking over everything. I want wrestling over everything. I want wrestlers doing everything. We understand how to treat people. Wrestlers do. Wrestling fans know how to have that juggalo ICP mentality of we are family. We are all one. We are all loving of the same thing that all brings us together. When I fought there was a story done about me by the New York Times last year when we were trying to do our drive-in wrestling. We were the first company in the entire world to have a live audience for pro wrestling after the pandemic started. And the reason we were able to do that is because we did it by doing drive-in wrestling. People drove in, tuned in on the radio, listened to the commentary. The LA Times tried to come down and do a story about me, and then they changed the story to not being about wrestling during a pandemic. They want to change the story to me, a white guy, using a black power fist as my logo. And BC, when I found that out, I brought that Pulitzer Prize winning journalist by the name of Ruben Vivez. Ruben Vivez won a Pulitzer Prize in 2010 for taking down a corrupt government in Bell, California. So this guy has power. He has a voice inside of the world. People take him seriously. And what he did, instead of writing about what we were trying to do for entertaining people during the pandemic, he tried to change it to a race baiting story. Okay? So BC, what I did is I said, motherfucker. Wrestling unites people. Wrestling transcends race, religion, culture, creed. I don't care what color you are. I don't care who you love. I don't care what language you speak. Wrestling unites people. Wrestling is for everyone except for the LA Times. So BC, what I did is I told him, I said, Ruben, you take your story, you go back to your editor in LA and tell him to go fuck himself, because I'm not going to let you fuck me. I'm not going to let you fuck wrestling. Wrestling is for everybody. So, Ruben, take your story, go back to your editor up in LA, tell him to take my fucking nuts and run that story, motherfucker, because you're not going to tarnish me. You're not going to tarnish wrestling. And you're not going to tarnish what the fuck I'm trying to do along with everybody else here, and that's enjoy wrestling and that's enjoy being entertained, and that's all I was ever trying to do. So, for him, for anybody that's trying to take, to put a bad name on wrestling, I'm here to extinguish all that shit. I'm here to bring wrestling and wrestlers up, and I'm here to help be one part of trying to show people around the world wrestling is for everybody.
That's a great way to end it right there, man. Hey, thank you so much for joining me for this today, man. I really appreciate it.
Well, hey, everybody can follow us on all social media at A Pro Wrasslin Movie. I myself at Dirty Ron McDonald at Fist Combat TV. Watch Fuck Mania live for free on Facebook, 7 p.m. Pacific time, next Saturday, April 3rd, on our Facebook page at Fist Combat TV. Jose PC, I appreciate your time so much. Everybody that listened and watched this shit. Victor, I know you've been on this shit the whole time. Sad boy, I saw backyard squabbles on this motherfucker. Everybody's popping off. Fucking, we're coming for you. It's a world takeover. Dirty Ron leading this shit. Let's fucking do it.
All right, man. Thank you so much. And just to make sure, I will put the link down below for the Indiegogo. That way people can look at them and donate it as well. donate towards this cause, for this good movie that's coming out. I'm really excited for this.
Hey, if you can't donate, just show somebody else the trailer. You know a lot of stoners. If you're a wrestling fan who smokes weed, either one of those. If you smoke weed, show somebody the trailer. If you like wrestling, show somebody the trailer. If you like wrestling and weed, show everybody the trailer.
Exactly.
Thanks, dude. I'll catch you soon.
All right, man. Hopefully, if I'm ever down in San Diego and I'm able to go to the event, I'll come
Ocean
through.
Beach.
All right, man.
Peace. Bye.
Later.